Welcome to the Hottest Wellness Podcast. I've got time with Cherry and ShaKayla.
Here we discuss personal growth, relationships, and healing to become aligned with the best version of ourselves.
Hey.
What up, though?
Girl, barely me. I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing.
Still alive, but I'm barely breathing.
That was a hit.
Is that the one I sent you a voice message this week I was singing?
That was,
Oh, yeah, that's another. That's when the heart breaks, then the heart don't break even.
Yeah.
Is that the same person? I think that's what I'm thinking.
I don't remember who that is.
So how you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. You know, yesterday I wasn't feeling too hot, but today I'm feeling better. It's probably because my hair is done. That just erases some of the downness, you know.
When you look good, you feel good. So
Yeah.
I feel that wholeheartedly.
How
and
you
I'm
feeling?
glad you feel better.
Thanks.
For the most part, I feel pretty good. You know, I'm trying to be focused on the good things in life and not the things that's out of my control. So, because I'm able to do that this week, I'm going to say I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
So, is there anything you want to get off your chest this week?
Not really. I want everybody out there to prioritize rest. Because,
Rest is productive.
yeah, it's very productive. You don't get rest, it just starts showing up in other areas. It shows up in your mood. It's not fun.
The other day when I went to go pick the kids up, they was talking about how bad you were snoring, so you're saying.
Wow.
And I was like, I think Cherry really only snore on Mondays now because that's like the last day of your week, basically. So you be so tired by that day.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you can tell.
Dang. I know I've been snoring this week then. I've been exhausted every single day.
Emma was snoring this week too, so.
Yeah.
Plus the weather's changing. When the seasons change, it take a lot out of you.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. For sure.
Yeah.
I did have a few things on my mind. That's so funny. Like, is there ever just a few things on my mind, really? I don't want to say I'm a complainer, but I do like to converse about topics that I feel like we could help resolve certain things, and it's a reason for that. So this week, what's really blowing me, well, me and Cherry are in a position where we thinking, okay, are we about to keep renting? Are we about to hire a house? What we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So at that point in your life, you're like, what's more financially feasible? And for so long, a lot of people in certain age groups was renters because that's what they could afford. But like high key in 2023 right now, it's more affordable to buy a house, even with the predatory loans, even with the high ass taxes, everything. How is it still cheaper to buy a house than it is to rent? Like, and a lot of it is because renting is becoming so corporate. It's a lot less like, oh, I'm renting from Bill down the street and now I'm renting from Country Financial.
Yeah.
And so I got a bone to pick with that because I feel like I've said this before. It's literally ridiculous that so many people are having issues finding housing, the housing market just being all over the place, whether you're renting or buying or whatever. And that's literally a basic necessity.
Yeah.
Like, homelessness rates are going up. Niggas is getting kicked out of their houses. People who thought they was going to own a house for the rest of their year is getting foreclosed on over a few $100s.
That's so crazy to me.
It's just ridiculous. They know what they're doing. It's messed up. When me and my ex-husband bought our house in 2016, we paid $120K for it. And in the same neighborhood now, it's literally double.
That's interesting. Especially for like people that don't really be doing renovations like that on their house, but the house is still selling for more. That's crazy.
And you see it, like, I've been looking at properties this week, and they'll have, like, literally a $75,000 house, and then it'll say as is, and then the pictures is toe up from the floor up, and it's like, I'm not paying $75,000 for a house, and then I literally have to put $150 more into it to make it to be the home I want it to be.
You might as well just buy a better house.
You might as well buy a better house or build up. But then at the same time, there's always, like, pros and cons to every single last situation, so all you can do is, like, find what works best for you. But the problem is, it ain't really working for a lot of people.
Yeah.
If you're not upper middle class, you probably are looking at your finances like, how am I about to survive? How am I about to have somewhere to live for the next 5 years? It's ridiculous. So,
yeah,
I'm sending you guys so much love and compassion if you also dealing with this, and we got to figure this out. Somebody needs to start getting held accountable. We need some laws and legislation in place to protect Americans from not only just predatory lending, not only discriminatory practices, but just the housing market in general expanding more than what the average, like, salary is of that area. That's crazy.
Yeah. I feel like there needs to be a cap on how much people can charge you to live anywhere. Because nobody can afford, especially renting, nobody can afford to pay rent. Like, you gotta have a roommate or something. Or just be making an extreme amount of money. If you're being honest on your application.
And on top of that, there's certain states who are now disqualifying people to live together. I don't want to misspeak, but I believe, was it Colorado we was talking about? Or was it Oregon?
I don't even remember.
One of those states, they basically are in the place to put in legislation where people who are not married will not be able to live together. And so, you know, this is going to hurt a lot of people that are in a certain age group. Even if you age out of college age and then you still can't afford to live on your own, like, then what? Like, everybody don't have family. Everybody don't have a supportive system or something, or somebody they can live with under the table, so to speak. And it's just ridiculous. Y'all literally setting people up to try and have to do illegal stuff just so they can have somewhere to live.
They don't care.
They do care. They trying to put people in jail because that's what they want. All this legislation that's being put in place, do not be fooled. They're making it so we can get arrested easily for stuff, and then next thing you know, we're literally slaves again. Like, do not be fooled. And this time, it's not just black people that's under attack. Anybody can get it. So,
yeah.
Don't be a part of a marginalized community and think you're not next.
It's crazy.
But I said what I had to say on that. Y'all let us know in the comments or slide into our DMs if you got something to say on it too.
And while you're there, go ahead and follow and subscribe to all of our stuff. It's in the description. Come on.
Well, we can get into the affirmation of the week.
Yeah.
This week's affirmation is, I deserve unconditional love and peace.
Word up.
Yeah. I was contemplating over what our main topic was this week, which we're discussing self-hate. And I was trying to think of affirmation, and I was like, well, for sure it has to be a self-love affirmation. But then when I started thinking about self-love, a lot of people who have an absence of that is because they don't feel that they deserve it. Mm-hmm. And so that's why this week I really want the affirmation to say, you do deserve it. I do deserve this. A lot of times we limit ourselves and put ourselves in a box, or even won't allow ourselves to say, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I wish I could have in my life, because we just don't think we deserve it.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you that it's not true. You deserve all good things.
Alexa, play You Deserve by Nina Sky.
I don't know that song.
You guys should play it. It's great.
The only song I know with the word deserve in it, wrong context, is Tank. Wrong context.
What
Baby, I deserve for you to stay out with him all night. Baby, I deserve.
Oh.
It's old Tank. It's throwback Tank.
I forgot all about that song.
Baby, I deserve
That was a jam, though.
It was. They used to play it like every morning on the radio station. Like, somebody's going to work trying to leave a man.
That's crazy.
But you know our motto: leave that nigga.
Leave him.
So, on to the main topic, though. How do you feel about self-hate? Do you feel that it's something that you've experienced, or you experience that currently in your reality?
I mean, self-hate. I don't want to define any of my feelings that I've had as self-hate.
But then you wouldn't be keeping it real with yourself, honestly, because I'm going to only speak for myself. I don't want to project on you. But my journey with self-love is an uphill battle, okay? Because I don't like myself. And it's only this year that I genuinely was honest about that, because for a long time I was like pretending to be other people and not showing up as like the real me. So then, like, why wouldn't I show up as the real me? Because I ain't like it. I fucking hated it. And then it's other stuff too, like in my life, where I noticed was like self-hate. Like, it might not be me hating myself, but hating my blackness, hating my gayness, different parts of myself and my personality. I hate those things because they make my life more difficult for whatever reason. So that's self-hate. It may not be, oh, I hate ShaKayla, but I hate the part of ShaKayla that's black sometimes because I got to deal with the bullshit. I hate the part of ShaKayla that's gay sometimes because I'm losing my relationships and, like, you know.
Yeah.
So self-hate is, to me, it's like a mind map. I see the word self-hate and then I see all these bubbles just popping up like bloop, 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 bloop. And there's so many things that go into it. And so for me, what my version of self-hate might not be the same thing as Cherry's. It might not be the same thing as yours either.
Well, when you put it like that, then that just opens up even more things that self-hate.
Exactly.
Like, I think self-hate has showed up in my life in the most obvious way for me to identify. Like, in the way that I would dress. When I would put on a dress or something that was like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a good dress. I will put on a dress and just don't let it be hugging me the right way. But anyways, it's not my ideal attire, like the more feminine clothes. So I would put those clothes on because for me it was like, I don't have to deal with any of my fears. Like, we talked about it in a previous episode. I don't remember which one, but I always had a fear of, no offense, looking like a stud.
It's so funny to me because you don't like claim to be a stud at all. Like,
I don't, and people assume that I am, but it's like, I am not. I have no desire to, I don't want the things that studs want. Traditionally, I say.
I feel like that's kind of boxing studs in because, like, they're not a monolith, okay? But there's this image that gets stereotypes into the type of studs, you know what I'm saying? Like, what women is supposed to be to fall in it. So if you wear masculine clothing, they automatically assume you're a stud. If maybe you take on the caregiver, or the provider role in your relationship, they might automatically assume you a stud. But, like, I feel like this is why I was talking about that whole identity thing and me identifying as lesbian, because it's not for you. It's for other people to feel comfortable around you. And I don't subscribe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, because I'm just a woman. Why do I need to be a stud too? Why do I need to be a femme too? Like, because the truth be told is one day I might be literally wearing masculine clothes and the next day I'll literally be wearing feminine clothes. So like, am I now a STEM? I'm not in no STEM.
You're not a STEM.
And then when you look at the actual like what am I trying to say? Intricacies. Yeah. Of me and Cherry's relationship, I'm definitely more masculine than her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's kind of ridiculous, but I understand and relate 100% to what you're saying.
And I actually, it's been a couple months now, but I think I told you about it. Somebody asked me if I was a stud, and it was straight. No, they didn't ask if I was a stud. They asked what I was, and
like, what's your pronouns, or what did they say? What are you?
What are you? I knew what they meant because of who was asking. But it was like, I'm a woman. Like, I identify as just a woman because I don't feel like I'm any of those things that they put lesbians or people that like women in. Like, I'm not any of those things to me. It's just, I'm a woman and I enjoy men's clothing.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes people be reading into stuff too much based off of like how they perceiving you physically. It's like, you don't know me.
Yeah. It was weird. And they asked me that because somebody else said to them that I was a stud. And it was like,
first of all, at work?
Yeah, it was at work. And it was like, first of all,
why y'all talking about
why are you talking about me? And also, why are you assuming that I'm a stud? You only see me in my uniform.
It's giving fan behavior. They said the way you wear it, the way you wear the uniform.
Like, we have on the same thing.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. Perception really is reality, though, because if somebody see you a certain way, it doesn't matter, like, who you really are. If that's how they see you, then that's how they see you. Yeah. And that's why nowadays I really actually don't care to change people's mind about how they think about me or perceive me, because I know who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We did want to get into some few things that we feel like is under the category of self-hate and like specifically impact the communities that we're a part of. The first one being internalized racism. I don't think that I've really had a lot of internalized racism myself, but I witnessed it a lot, specifically within black men. And then there's the other stuff, like just being dark skinned, you know what I'm saying, that has a huge impact on your life, and sometimes you do have to start to have that internalized like hate for your skin color, maybe even your hair texture. Those are all things that kind of like all are part of your blackness.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it ain't even just blackness, because you could be Hispanic and have internalized racism.
Yeah.
And it's basically like you racist against your own group of people. Like, you ever see those people on the internet be like caping for white people that's literally being racist, and it's like coon behavior? Those be the people who like have internalized racism.
Yeah. Kind of like that young man that recently apologized for doing that.
Who?
Daniel Caesar.
Oh, girl. Don't even get me started on him. As soon as he want to drop some new music, he's sorry for his apology in 2004. Ruben stuttered. Talk to him. I don't want to hear about it. I think we talked about it before. I'm not canceling Daniel Caesar. He's not canceled to me, but I don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, once you say something and you stand on it, now you left a bad taste in my mouth. I don't got nothing against him. I don't think he should be canceled. I hope that he grow from that situation. Maybe he has. Maybe the apology was genuine, but have a seat. It's nothing more that grinds my gears than getting on the internet and seeing a black person discriminate, talk shit about, or even just like, I guess, have abusive behaviors towards another black person just so they can get like some love from people that are not black. Like, what do you get out of it? Is it checks that come with it? Tell me, what do you get out of this? Which, that's another story for another day, but it do be checks that come out of it. Because y'all know, like, Chris Rock.
And just positions of power. I think they expect positions of power when they go against their race. It's like, you can do all this, and they may laugh and kiki with you. You might get into the same rooms, but you will never be a part of the club.
You'll never be a part of the club. And that's what we was talking about before about Jay-Z and Lil Wayne. How they both have basically made certain statements. Jay-Z basically saying, denouncing that he don't want to be called like a billionaire and he don't want to subscribe to all of the stuff that come with it. Which you already are because you acting in it. You're in alignment with the purpose that you chose. So that's who you are. Now you can't be saying you don't want to be called that no more. And then Lil Wayne, how he was basically saying, oh, because he got money now, him being black don't impact him.
That's so crazy.
And it's like, it's so funny because that's what you think. But then like Jay-Z, now he's getting all this money and just to turn around and debunk what Lil Wayne said. Like, even though I have all this money, there's still access that I cannot get to being a black man. And it's like, just, if we could just band together, we wouldn't have to seek the approval of people who not fucking with us in the first place. It's way too many black people to be working with, breaking bread with. Too many black people that's all in different professions that you can hire. We really don't have to if we don't want to be fucking with people that's outside of the black community.
Yeah.
And so why do you need that validation? And that's that internalized racism coming at you, because that proximity to whiteness makes you feel better than other black people. It makes you feel like you're succeeding at something, or maybe you're more valuable. And like, if you didn't already see the value of your blackness, you'll live your entire life trying to prove it because you high key hate yourself.
Damn. Yeah. So
It'd be the black man for me, that the ones that their preference is non-black women and themselves being black, which it's nothing wrong for you to have a type, but I don't think people understand what a preference really even is. It's like, preferences, I like girls who have full lips or long hair, not I only date white girls. That's not a preference. That's not.
It's like, you. I don't get that. I don't understand how they don't see that that's a problem.
How can you come from a black woman and then basically shit on everything that it means to be a black woman just so you can make what you doing seem okay? And it's like, it's nothing wrong with dating outside your race. Like, I was married to a Mexican. But there were certain things I dealt with in that relationship that I don't have to worry about with Cherry. You know what I'm saying? So why even put yourself through that? That's crazy. You gotta hate yourself a little bit to willingly enter in a situation surrounding people that you know genuinely do not give a fuck about you and wouldn't spit on you if you was on fire. Who would do that?
Well, it's a crazy world out there. I wouldn't. Speaking of me, internalized racism. It's been here. I feel like for me, I feel like these things just show up in my life in different ways. Like, it would show up as like hating, because that's what it is. Like complaining about like light-skinned women being in position over dark-skinned women, or light-skinned women being the preference. I feel like even when you're young, and you like really start crushing on boys and stuff, well, for those of you who did, it's like,
do you know any Golden Star lesbos? Because
what does that mean? I don't even
that
know
means
what that means.
that they've never had sex with a man ever.
I don't personally.
I think I know a couple of them. Yeah, I know a couple of them.
Golden Star.
That's what they call it, basically. You know what I'm saying? You get a little golden star for knowing and staying true to yourself that you just don't like men. Which, I don't know if that's anything to be rewarded, because most people, we be having situations going on that make us have certain fears from being our true self, or just like whatever. Or even the environment that we living in, it would be unsafe for us to really be our true self. So it's not really fair to say like, oh, you get a golden star for never fucking with a dude. But like, some people genuinely don't know their sexuality yet, or they haven't explored it. And then like for me, I had explored my sexuality, but it was a point where I felt like I was bisexual. But I was mostly leaning towards that because I knew the privileges that come with being in a hetero relationship. But that also was self-hate, you know.
Ooh, everything is self-hate. That's crazy. Do we all hate ourselves? I think so, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, because it's like what you said too, even just like little making commentating on people, like certain stuff, how we was talking about respectability politics, like wearing a bonnet outside, and it's like, why do you care? Only because somebody who's not black said it was ghetto, and then now all the black people is like trying to police themselves to be acceptable enough for whiteness, and it's like self-hate.
Yeah. I feel like the things that you notice, the things that are like in the forefront of your mind, like any issues you have, I feel like those are the things that like really are fucking with you internally.
Yeah, I agree with that. For sure. So what you were saying about light skins?
Basically, yeah, when you start liking boys, the light-skinned boys are the ones that's like, oh my gosh, he's so cute, and don't let him have light eyes. It's like, he is so fine. And don't let him have long hair. It's levels to it.
That is so funny. I'm like trying to think back to my first little crushes. Like my first ever crush, he was dark skinned. I still remember him. In kindergarten, I had a crush on him. And when I went to school in 6th grade, he was in my class.
Hey.
He was still a high key obsessed with me. He used to always be stealing my sweater in kindergarten. And he still remember me. That's so off topic. What was I even talking about?
I don't know, but that got you hype. I don't like that.
Girl, relax. Oh, but then my other crush that I had, my next crush in 1st grade, I had a crush on him for this longest. This boy named Kendall Holt. And he was light skinned, and he had pretty eyes, and he was mean to me. And I liked him for years, and I didn't even go to the same school as him no more. It was ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Were you a stalker?
Maybe. I remember looking him up on MySpace like years later, like, what's this guy doing?
Thirsty.
Yeah. I did say MySpace, so not too much.
MySpace was where it was at.
Yeah. So with self-hate, though, there is a lot of insecurities that we have within ourselves. A lot of fears that we also limit ourselves. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel like the self-hate and insecurities is basically just the same thing to a certain extent. Because just because you're insecure about something, that doesn't mean that you
hate yourself.
Yeah.
The insecurities feed into the self-hate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The more things that you're insecure about, or I guess how deep you take those insecurities is really becoming, it like is a what do they call it? Like, it's leading into it.
Like a slippery slope?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a slippery slope. Oh, I was thinking gateway drug. It's like a gateway drug.
That's like your favorite thing to say.
Is it?
You be saying it a lot.
I do.
Like something is a gateway.
Because it do be. Some behaviors lead to worse behaviors.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's true. So, yeah, when you be insecure, when also you afraid of other things, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like how we're talking about people that be homophobic, they, like, just really be scared of gay people. And, like, a lot of people who are homophobic, they really be gay.
Talk about it.
I'm speaking from personal experience and shit, but like that be the self-hate. Like, you dead ass hate yourself so much, and that you're so jealous that you can't live in your truth. So what you're gonna do? You're gonna make all these people who are living in their truth feel like shit because of it, and then you're gonna try and put yourself on this pedestal in God's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
When who knows what you're doing in your life, when no sin is greater than the other. Not that I subscribe to any of the shit anyways, but
yeah, that was definitely me when I was younger.
mm-hmm.
Specifically when I was really in that religious hole. It was like, oh my gosh, gay people, but deep down it was like,
girls,
I want to kiss a girl.
I told you, I used to be in the hallways getting freaky deaky, get my fill on.
Oh.
I knew I wanted me a girl. I was just waiting to basically get out of my religious and homophobic ass environment to make it do what it do, baby. And that I did. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
What?
Took me forever.
Divine timing, though. Everything happens right when it's supposed to. You needed to have those experiences with other people to know what you really wanted and what you really liked. You know what I'm saying?
I knew.
Oh.
It was just, I was holding on, you know?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of fear surrounding it, but it's like that one thing Will Smith grandma said. Behind your fear could be like the best experience that you never even know, something greater than you could even imagine. So one of my favorite personal quotes is to be scared and do it anyways. Period. And that's on anything. You want to get a surgery? Do it anyway. Fuck what people telling you.
Yeah.
You want to date somebody that's the same gender as you? Do it. It's what you want. Like, the only thing you doing is prolonging your own happiness by holding on to like that internalized hate on whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because you limiting yourself from really being the version of yourself that is at peace.
That's a fact.
Like, it be you. It be us, you know?
Shit crazy.
Okay. It's gonna get a little spicy. And so I don't want you to feel attacked out here in these streets. But you should have a little defense up. Be ready to tussle on this one.
Okay.
You know, in previous episodes we have discussed bullying and like, you know, different forms of abuse, and that to us bullying is a form of abuse, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that a lot of bullies, they have, you know, self-hate, because why else would they be projecting all that shit on other people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel bullies are... It's interesting when it's a bully that's like not one of the popular kids, or like one of the kids that's, I guess, in with the other kids. It's like, what's going on over there?
Sometimes they be home stuff. Sometimes it don't be I'm under the influence of my peers. Sometimes it be all I have ever grown up was hearing people say bad things to me and about me, and that's all I know. So when I go in the world and start communicating with people, that's how I communicate. And be totally not aware or not conscious of your behaviors. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not like, oh, you know, I just want to be a bully or be mean to other kids because that's what we're doing. They're nerds. Sometimes some people generally don't know how to communicate healthily.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I was bullied. I was not a bully. But anytime that I participated with the bullies, it was always, it wasn't really because I felt anything about myself. It was just, I didn't want to be next.
That's interesting. I definitely feel like for me, I was wearing the other shoes on that. Like, I've been bullied, and I think getting bullied made me a bully. Because then I started building up this wall around me, and like, okay, now I'm going to be a persona to where I can't get bullied, and then I'm going to turn into the mean girl because you better not say shit to me. You know what I mean? Don't get roasted. Don't say nothing to me. Do you want to square up? Like, I started turning into the mean girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I can't remember what video it was, but Jazz had commented on a post, and she was saying how, like, she used to be called, like, mean and stuff, and then she started to really grow and develop into a mean girl. Like, that's a real thing. Like, sometimes people tell you who you are, and then you start to subscribe to it. Like,
that's crazy.
I've definitely been a bully, and most of the time I was jealous of the person. Like, I didn't realize that I was jealous, but looking back, I could see I was jealous. Like, when I was in the Navy, a bunch of us used to bully. Well, it was a lot of cliques. So, it was one girl specifically that me and one of my friends used to bully or whatever, and she legitimately got on my nerves. Like, I actually had to apologize like a couple years to her because, like, it was on my heart to apologize for how I treated her. And because it was fucked up, like, just being so mean and nasty to people. First of all, this was one thing that used to piss me off about certain girls when I was in the Navy, because I worked, like, a hard job. So I didn't have the luxury of walking around smelling like flowers all day and my hair being done and my coveralls being all nice and clean. Like, I look like one of the little rascals, okay? And then here come this bitch strolling down the P-way smelling like fucking Chanel No. 5. Hair all curled up, pinned up. And I was just like, who does she think she is? This she used to be singing all the time, and she could sing. And you know, that's something that I have a personal insecurity with, because for a long time people kept telling me how bad I was at singing, and to the point it actually made me a bad singer. So everything this girl is, I hate her because I ain't her. And I'm like, I'm about to start bullying her. And it wasn't conscious. I just did it. I was just on mean girl activities. Like, I would just be messing with her.
Real mean girl shit.
I regret it, you know what I'm saying? I wish that I wasn't that person, but my self-esteem was so low, and being mean to somebody else, that is what gave me that little boost of confidence to feel good about myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for sure, it was definitely self-hate, and it was definitely me being insecure as fuck.
So, can you be insecure and confident at the same time?
Yeah. I mean, maybe not about the same thing. I could be insecure about my body, but confident about my face.
I can see it.
Or, like, maybe if it's like one thing, like if I'm insecure about a skill that I'm building, you know what I'm saying? But I'm confident in my ability to learn.
That makes sense. Yeah, that might be me. with the second one.
Well, kind of like just back to what I was saying in the affirmation of the week. When you have low self-esteem, then you might have those feelings of feeling like you're not deserving of things. And then so that leads to a lot of projection on other people, trying to make them feel unworthy, trying to devalue other people to make yourself feel worth more. Just flat out hating yourself because you're not whatever it is, the thing or the type of person that you have the most value or you see the most value in. So the best thing, you know what I'm saying, you could do when you recognize that self-hate within you is to learn more about yourself, to get to the root of it. Why do I feel this way about myself? Where does it stem from? Like, can I think of the experience that led me to feel this way, to have this one specific insecurity? Sometimes you can't, but some things I know exactly where it came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's power in having the knowledge of that, because you're like, if I heal, if I process my emotions around that thing that happened to me, then I start to release the insecurities around it. You know what I mean? So
is it because you understand it?
It's because I'm basically letting it go. Like, I'm not holding on to whatever feelings I had about it no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So say, like, in the episode where we talked about bullying, and I was saying how, like, to this day I'm still insecure about my hair. I still hate my hair. And I know where it stems from. But it's really hard to process those feelings about it, because when I start to think about it, I feel like I'm in 7th grade again being picked on. So I'm just not there to do this shadow work, to heal on my own. Like, for that, I need a damn therapist to walk me through that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then there's other things, you know what I'm saying, that I have insecurities about, or that I have self-hate with. And I could think about it and be like, you know, like the singing thing. I'm slowly getting over that. Like, you helped me a lot with that.
It's gotta be free. Live your life.
Yeah, I used to didn't be free. Even now, I feel like I'm getting more free, like dancing again. And for the last couple of years, I used to like not want to dance. I don't even want to say that I was shy about it. I would just say no. Like, I didn't feel connected to my body. It didn't feel good to me. And so, yeah, I had to heal in myself why I was disconnected from my body, which I'm still doing, but you know. So that's what I think.
Proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Celebratory dance. Yeah.
Well, we can slide into mental health matters. What am I about to say? Mental health. Ready?
You ready?
I stay ready, so I don't have to get ready. That's a lie, by the way.
When it comes to mental health?
Anything, really, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I'm just not somebody that's be prepared for stuff. Like, yeah. I don't like to prepare too much, because I feel like, in my experience, I know that God laughs at plans. So while you doing all this stuff, the last 3 months you've been prepping and planning and doing all this stuff, and then nothing pans out the way that you did, those plans don't mean shit.
Yeah.
So might as well just go with the flow. But that might also be something I need to heal from. Who knows?
I feel like there should be a balance.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're right with that.
Yeah.
In all things. So for mental health matters this week, we really wanted to discuss Stress Awareness Month. I know that April is coming to an end, but I kind of like just found out about this. But I still felt like it was important for us to bring it up, because stress is a big part of mental health. Us, how we manage our stress, how we cope through stress, and if we cannot find balance when we are having stress or grounding ourselves, then we end up, you know, in places where our mental health is not where it should be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, as we are here in April, just kind of think about how you handle stress. Are you doing healthy things? Are you like setting your future self up for success? That's one thing that keeps me from being stressed on a daily basis. Like, I know that later on in the day, after lunch, I'm gonna want tea at work. So my future self is gonna like make sure that I have the things that I need to make tea. And so when that time comes, I already got it. Or like, you know, when you used to be picking out your school clothes before school, and then all you really need to do is get up and then brush your teeth and then put your clothes on. It's like you set your future self up for success.
Yeah.
And then you less stressed in the moment when things do arrive. Like,
yeah. I feel like that's good. But at some point, I feel like that's a good start, and then at some point on your journey of self, there's I'm trying to figure out how to say it because I know what I'm trying to say.
yeah, I think I'm reading your mind low key. Like, basically, you need to figure out what is the causes of your stress. Are you causing it? Is it external things that's making you more stressed out? So that in the future, it's not so much of being prepared, but I want to say avoiding those situations too. You know they make you stressed out at the same time.
You have to trust your guidance within yourself.
Yeah.
Like, for picking clothes out, for example, that used to be my shit, and then somewhere along the way I like kind of stopped having to plan in that way, and now it's just like I wake up or I'm in the shower or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, what am I feeling today? And then I just kind of see the outfit that I'm supposed to put on. You know what I'm saying?
Not you getting channel messages and outfits.
I mean, that's how it works. Because if I put on something else, it really doesn't feel right.
Yeah, no, that's so true.
Yeah.
I'm like that person too. Like, I can't go on vacation. I have to pack a lot of stuff and need a lot of options because I can't be like, on Monday I'm wearing this, on Tuesday I'm wearing this, on Wednesday I'm wearing this. Because, like,
so
when Wednesday come, yeah, I get it. You don't want to wear shit on Wednesday. You used to
get on me for packing so much stuff.
Nah, that's different, baby. We going on a 2-night overstay. You don't need 6 outfits. A 2-night overstay?
You gotta have options.
That's ridiculous. This is what I mean by options, okay? I'm not packing 5 outfits for a 1-night stay. I'm going to pack different pieces that collaborate with each other so that if I don't want to wear this skirt and this pants, well, for whatever reason that day my thighs ain't hidden, I'm like, I don't want to wear a skirt today. You know what I mean? Now I have a pants option. I could just wear that with the skirt and the shirt instead. Like, that's what I mean. You need to be packing with pieces, not with outfits. Like, no, that's not the same thing. No.
It's pieces still.
But at the same time, it's not, though. You just... Bless you. That's confirmation that you be overpacking.
What?
Yes, no. Because first of all, the bag heavy. Then we can't check the bag. Like, no.
It be just right.
It don't be just right. I just know that when we start like really traveling like out the country, we gonna have to weigh your bags at home before we even get to the airport. You ever had to pay for a too heavy bag? That shit is not cheap.
No.
That shit's not cheap. Well, let's get into forest bias. Earth Day's coming up on the 22nd. So by the time you listen to this, probably it's gonna been Earth Day. So happy Earth Day to y'all.
Happy Earth Day. What do you do for Earth Day?
I try to do something that I know I'm contributing to my community and to, you know, Mother Earth. I have a strong connection with nature because I am an earth sign. And it be on my heart to do certain stuff. If I'm outside and I see trash, I'm just gonna pick it up. I was thinking that's what I do with the kids. Like, we could try and do like a little cleanup or something, go to a park, something, so that we just is celebrating. But one thing I always love to do on Earth Day is plant something. I gotta get something in some dirt. I gotta plant me something, very much something.
Yeah.
And then I also feel like I'm like giving back, you know. So yeah.
Plant your seeds, girl. I will touch the grass and say a prayer as my hand grazes across Mother Nature's eyelashes.
That's hilarious. So, this past week, it was Black Maternal Health Week, April 11th through 17th. So, once again, I'm a little late. Y'all, don't be mad at me. But, next year we'll know for sure when it's Black Maternal Health Week. But I felt like this was super important to talk about because, Black women, we have the highest rates in not only like C-sections and inductions, but also actual death from labor and pregnancy.
Yeah.
And it's because, all of the racism and shit that is in just the medical system, period. And so we need weeks like this where we're creating awareness to the issues that Black women are facing, and also creating the communities and foundations so that, like, all these Black doctors that coming out, they like, I want to be a Black doctor because I know that Black women need us. You know what I'm saying? And there is so many Black doctors now. Like, every year is more and more. And shout out to y'all, because the reason that I can have a Black doctor is because y'all going to school to become it. So, shout out to all of the Black moms, first of all. Whatever you did to get your baby, you did it, girl. And your kids is here, and you made it safely. So shout out to you, and I hope that you continue to support and uplift your other sisters as they also, transform into motherhood.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to me. Shout out to you too. You didn't give birth to a baby, but now you got 2 kids. Took the easy way out, but
I'll take that any day.
I hear what you're saying, but having that experience of carrying my child, like, I look at Max and Evan and it was like, you was in there. I look at them and I think about the moment when I was like pulling them out of my vagina, like, this is my baby. And I know I went through 21 hours of labor with Max, okay?
Bless you.
Eva slid out like she was coming out like a water slide.
All right. Okay.
I don't do it like that, okay? Birth is not nasty. It's not disgusting. It's actually the most natural thing that women can do alongside breastfeeding. And that's great, but it's nothing nasty about it.
I'm not saying it's nasty like that. I'm traumatized.
I don't understand it. I can respect your opinion. I just don't understand it.
Because I just think, I imagine that it's me, and it's like, no, ow,
You can get an epidural. Don't have to be ow.
See, I wouldn't want to do that though.
You wouldn't want to get an epidural?
Like, if I didn't have to, I wouldn't want to.
Can we talk about this next week?
Yeah.
Let's bring this back up. Let's talk about childbirth next week.
Okay.
So we can move into the breaks or whatever. You want to share with them what we're discussing this week?
So, on today.
I heard somebody say that the other day. We was watching something and she said that. What was we watching?
I think it was a TikTok or something.
No, it wasn't a TikTok. It was Love and Marriage DC.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, something on today.
Shout out. UMG demands streaming platforms to block AI services from recreating songs by other artists. By now, especially if you're on TikTok, you've probably heard that Drake song that's going around.
That's not actually Drake.
Mm-hmm.
That is so scary. Because, like, this is on a music standpoint, like, the most harmful thing is that you're basically taking money out of their pockets or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or even using their likeness to profit from it. But imagine if somebody took my voice and then, like, was going out and saying stuff or whatever, and it wasn't none of my personal beliefs or opinions. Or what if they was committing crimes with your voice?
I think that at some point there's gonna be very strict rules and laws and regulations for AI use, because it's already been, there was already a politician that almost got in trouble over something that was not real. but they made it sound like he said something, and it was like, it's already scary.
Yeah.
I knew the music industry was gonna do this though, because I think I brought it up the other day. Like, you can't do that. They're not gonna let you make money off of this. They got contracts and shit. You're not about to make money and they don't get a cut.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, you literally can get sued as fuck for using somebody's likeness, or what do they call it now? Their intellectual property. Mm-hmm. And the last thing you want to be doing is being in court with somebody who got the money to sue you, baby. Because they will Cardi B you, and you'll be out here looking like Tasha K living in Africa with nothing to your name. Because you wanted to make a little Drake song real quick.
Intellectual property is going to get crazy now, too, since you can create stuff with AI now. Like,
and it is. It already is. At this point, there's so much misinformation being spread in the first place. And to me, that's even worse, too, with the AI. That they just generating more content and more content and more content. Some of the music that has already been released, they got Rihanna singing Free Mind by Tim's.
That actually sounded good.
I didn't hear it. I'm sure they all sound good, but at the same time, first of all, Tim's worked so hard on that song. And that was like the hottest song for like the last 2 years. Now you just gonna slap a Rihanna on it? Hell no.
Rihanna should look into that though.
A remix. Girl, she ain't trying to put out no music for real. You know that. She's done with the music industry. She like, what else can I do in the beauty cosmetic industry?
Or what if she just used AI to release an album?
She got an album right now she ain't gonna put out.
But I'm saying, like, if she... It's an option now. Like,
so basically they could never ever go into studio not one day, and then they could like have the AI do all the work for them.
Yeah.
You
can never step foot in a studio again and just make money.
Yeah, see, that's definitely for those people who they about the money, but there are so many artists where the artistry is what motivates them to do it. That's why they do it, because they love it. Like Beyonce, she probably be in the studio every day. She got so many unreleased music. Ariana Grande, she another one. They just love being in the studio. So I feel like in that situation, you're going to see the people who really like are musicians versus people who are just famous.
Yeah. I mean, right now, you can still hear the AI-ness of the
but it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
It's only going to get better.
So at one point, we really not going to know.
This one's funny. Ariana Grande singing Beyonce's America Has a Problem.
I can't.
I'm not even going to tune in for that, because y'all know how I feel already about... We ain't going to get in. Travis Scott...
Believe that out.
Travis Scott rapping Drake's God's Plan. Why'd you pick that old ass song?
It sounds bad.
I'm sure it does. His voice don't even match that cadence, but anywho. Michael Jackson singing The Weeknd's I Feel It Coming. That's hilarious to me, because I actually think that The Weeknd has a similar voice to Michael Jackson in a sense.
It's on purpose.
Oh, I was going to say, but it's intentional. Yeah. He's not the only one that do it. I mean, Chris Brown, even Beyonce sometimes. Rihanna has done it. Everybody want to be like Mike. Yeah. Mariah Carey singing Ashanti's Foolish. Now, I'm going to have to get my ears on this one, because Foolish and...
I can't imagine it sounding good with Mariah, because her voice...
Her tone is different.
No shade, but her voice is kind of above that type of singing.
Yeah, but I still want to hear it.
Yeah.
I still want to hear it. Then they got Kendrick Lamar with Kanye West, Touch the Sky.
I don't want to hear that.
I think that his voice probably sound right singing it, because that at that time Kanye was in his kind of what Kendrick is in now stage. But at the same time, it's Ye. Put Ye's voice on Ye's song. I don't want to hear nobody singing nobody else's song. They got The Weeknd singing Drake's Passion Fruit. Yeah. Frank Ocean singing Chris Brown, Please Don't Judge Me. Now that actually pissed me off. That one right there made me cry all night.
Because it was Chris?
Because it's Chris. Because Chris Brown has done certain things. Other people too, to Frank Ocean. So I feel like this was kind of antagonizing. I ain't like that. who knows? It might be his people doing it, like allegedly. I'm just saying. I just made that up off the thin air, y'all. But yeah. So I mean, it's funny, it's entertaining and everything, but don't get crazy, honey, because your ass will be in court next week.
Hit the streets, your ass is grass.
So I'm gonna have to pull up on y'all music of the week on some like old shit high key, but I just have to, okay?
Do your thing.
I don't know what Beyonce put in this Renaissance album, but all of a sudden it's slapping for me.
It's
like
Coke.
6 months later. I'm not on Coke.
You're not on it. That's what's in it.
Is she? What are you saying right now?
I feel like now that you're asking questions, I need to bleep all this out.
I just don't understand what exactly are you saying.
I'm saying...
First it sounded like you was calling me a drug addict.
No.
Then it sounded like you was saying Beyonce was dipping in the sauce. What are you saying?
What I'm saying is...
We ain't never gonna get with Beyonce.
No. Beyonce
Between the stuff I
gonna...
done said, now you calling her...
I didn't call her anything. Did I say anything?
You didn't.
I didn't say a word. And she's admitted to drug use in her music. So, anyways.
Okay.
All I'm saying is the music takes you to a place. You're,
I was going to say it's the weather breaking. I feel like I'm low-key starting to get back to myself a little bit now that the sun is like physically touching my body.
Yeah.
And, I'm in a good mood. Like, I feel like a bunch of those songs, the vibration of it just feels good. Like, it make you want to dance, or just like, I guess, Beyonce, she's one of those talk your shit entertainers. She's like gonna talk her shit, and like, it's an affirmation though when you sing those music. It's like, yeah. So the song, I mean, I've been listening to Renaissance, period, but the song that's really been like back to back to back, like the last 3 days, every time I get in my car, I put on one song on repeat.
What song is that?
I'm heated.
Which one is that again?
Heated.
No, I need to see the track list. I can figure out what song you're talking about if I see the track list.
Let me see. It's number 11.
Okay. That's after the sensual phase of the album.
Oh, is that what you think? I mean, I don't know. Well, I really love that song. I love the lyrics of the song, and I really be feeling like, yeah, I'm heated right now. Like, you know what I mean? I be heated about different stuff, like in a positive way and a negative way. But I just feel really, I feel touched by the song. I just be in my bag when I put it on every single time.
Well, go off then.
So like in one of the lyrics, she say, "You never met a girl with a mind like this, to give you the space at a time like this. You never met a girl so fine like this, with a waist that wine like this. Only a real one could tame me, and only the radio could play me. And don't you wish I was complacent?" And that like really spoke to my soul. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm at a point in my life now where I know how to give people the space to be themselves and to figure out their shit without it impacting me. And I felt that. It really did resonate with me. But also, only a real one could take me. You know how many people tried to really take me out? And they couldn't, man. And Cherry, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what it is that you're doing. You know, I remember us being at one point in our relationship and I genuinely was like fearful, or I was trying to get out of it, like, you know, because I was like, I don't deserve this, and like just trying to make up reasons that I should just be single when I know that I really wanted to be with you. But, you know, and I've been in other relationships where their energy felt like they was trying to sun me, control me, manipulate me, and it felt like I was losing my freedom. And so like when she say like only a real one could tame me, only a real one can make me feel loved and supported enough to have the urge to even be in my feminine, where I'm allowing them to, you know, be that supportive energy for me. So I felt that.
Yeah.
Like, and only Yo the Radio played me, because you thought you played me, you did not. Like, when they say they tried to play me, heavy on the tried.
Yeah.
So you told me that you finally got around to listening to it.
I finally listened to Renaissance. And can we pull up the track list again?
We can.
So, first off, it's a good album.
Can I guess your favorite song?
Yeah.
Is it Church Girl?
No.
It's Energy.
Which one is that? Where is it?
Energy. That's number 5. What is it? What is it? Just tell me.
So, Cozy.
That's your favorite song?
Plastic Off the Sofa.
I do like Plastic Off the Sofa. I skip Cozy.
Damn. So, all in all, this is a good album. The songs are great. It sounds amazing. It's Beyonce. So I'm not going to say too much.
I just had wanted something different when it came out, I'm going to be honest with you. And so that's why I wasn't like, you know.
Well, it took me a long time to get to this album because I personally just didn't want to hear it. I knew that I was gonna like it whenever I did listen to it, but I knew I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to engage. I was enjoying everybody else enjoying it, but it was like, girl, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, sounds great. Beautiful gals. I don't like the transitions from song to song. It feels like it's going from genre to genre. Like she's all over the club.
Yeah, I feel like this song list should have been ordered differently for sure.
Yeah, that really threw me off a lot of times. Like the transition from Cozy to Alien Superstar.
Yeah.
From Alien Superstar to Cuff It. When Cuff It came on, I was like, where are we? This is not the room that I was just in 3 seconds ago.
But maybe that's intentional because Beyonce is that girl.
I feel you, but we gotta do something about these transitions. And also, while I was listening, the sensual part of the album, which is like tracks 8 through 11, I want to say. Or 8 through 10, I don't know. That section of the album really had me thinking her next album needs to be, maybe not the next one. At some point, when she decides to give us like a good R&B album, I want London on the track and Kanye to produce it. And I need Summer Walker to be there, only on Wednesdays, doing background vocals. It's gonna sound.
Beyonce does her own background vocals, baby. That ain't gonna happen, okay? There's a few people
that
I know for sure. No, she don't do. She layers her voice. She'll make one sound and layer it and layer until it's a background voice. She ain't.
I know.
She ain't these other girls.
But for the sound that I'm talking about, Beyonce will not do it on her own, because to some extent she's stuck in the way that she uses her voice. And for what I want to hear that's going to match this production that I'm talking about,
girl, you need to just make up a new artist. That's not her.
It's not going to be the same if it's somebody else. The only other person that I could use in place of Beyonce is Chloe, and that's only because they sound the same. Chloe, the way that she uses her voice is the exact same.
Like the way she projected. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
And it's like the way that she harmonizes with herself is like Beyonce. So she's the only person that could give me the same sound that I'm going for.
Well, let's go
She
ahead
would
to be her.
definitely need
'Cause
people in the studio because I just don't trust her to give me what I want.
girl.
No offense, beautiful gowns.
Is there anything else that you want to add in? Did you have anything for Music of the Week?
I'm gonna have to come back to y'all. I came across some independent artists. I believe that they're all independent. One of them might not be, but TikTok been putting me on. But I'm also trying to get that out of my algorithm because a lot of y'all, your music sounds bad, and I don't want it.
Okay. Well, we'll be waiting on standby because I do enjoy your music taste. So,
Yeah. Check out my playlist. They're already there.
yeah, both of us we got like hella playlists.
Yeah.
Well, for Reel It In this week, I was very excited to discuss this show that's coming out because it's one of my favorite shows to watch. Anything relationship, advice, dating, trying to matchmaker, that is my bag. Like, I will watch that literally every day because I love, like, just discussing different things that's going on in relationships and behaviors. I also like, just reflecting on my own experiences too, watching those. But they just also be having, like, the hottest tea at the same time. So, this week, Netflix announced The Ultimatum is coming back. And this time, it's going to be Queer Love Edition. What did you think about when you seen that? Was you surprised?
Not surprised. I knew they would do it eventually because people bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like it was all women.
Yeah.
People who may identify as women, may have been born women. That was interesting.
Mm-hmm. It was interesting that they called it queer because, like, I get it. Everybody doesn't subscribe to being a lesbian. But when it said queer, before I watched the trailer, I was under the assumption that meant it would be anybody that could be considered queer, meaning, like, bisexual, trans, gay, lesbian. So I thought it was about to be, like, a mixed group of people. And I was a little bit disappointed when I seen that it was, like, just women. And I don't want to say it like that or whatever, but, like, being a woman that has been in relationships with women, I feel like it's going to be toxic.
Oh, it's definitely going to be toxic.
Like, I don't want this to be another L word. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted some real sustainable gay love. But, so, I will say that. Yeah. But I'm still going to watch it and I'm just as excited, even though, the same thing they do on Netflix. They are terrible at casting. It's like 2 black people.
Yeah. And one of them looks like a stand-in for Shorty on that one show, Harlem.
That is funny.
The lesbian on there. Shout out to her.
Are we shouting her out? She's like...
Is she problematic?
Yeah, she's fucking problematic.
See, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, you're sorry. I didn't do anything.
Right, stop apologizing. What I was about to say. Oh, if you've never seen The Ultimatum at all, basically it's couples, they come together and one of the person within that reunion wants to get married and the other person is not ready or they don't want to at all, period. So they going on this show to give them an ultimatum that, like, if you don't marry by the end of this process, then maybe I don't want to be with you no more, or just to kind of explore and figure out what they want. Now, the problem with the ultimatum is because they pair them up with other people. So, like, they mingle with each other and they put the people all in a group together that could possibly all be attracted to each other, basically, and have things in common and stuff. So, you might be, like, in 3 people or something. And I feel like it's so unhealthy to still be in a relationship and then basically looking for a new partner because...
all of the things that you in your relationship now, all you can see is these bad things, and then this new person coming into your life, and you don't know any of their behaviors, you don't know their triggers, you haven't been through the trenches with them. Not to say like it has to be that, but like obviously they're gonna feel like the more safe, comfortable, and pleasurable experience because you don't know them niggas.
Yeah.
And so they staging these people. Don't never be no therapist there or nothing. Netflix, get a fucking therapist up in here, 1 or 2, because this don't make no sense. Like, Ayana, you too booked and busy, help them out.
I don't think that they would get a therapist on those shows because
it'll make it too healthy.
It'll make it too healthy.
No.
They don't want to see people grow. They want to entertain.
Yeah. It's always 1 or 2 people that be like they girl, but for the most part, when the reunion come, you be like, oh my god.
And now that people know the shows and just the state of the society now, they be going on these shows just to
get popular, try and get hot on social media and stuff. Cause like I've been watching Love Is Blind, and oh my god, so many of them keep popping up on my For You page on TikTok. Like, okay. I like to watch the show, but I'm not a fan of you. I'm a fan of the show. I'm not about to follow you. I'm not about to be watching your content. I do not care. Stop popping up on me.
Yeah. A lot of people do that, though. I feel like it is kind of a good bag. Like, if that's your angle, like, get on the show, have a YouTube page, like, really make it a thing. Make it worth it.
Yeah, but I just feel like there's other shows that you could go on for that, and when it's the love shows and you waste this experience where you could have potentially met the love of your life or even solidified like the relationship that you already had, and all you thinking about is, are these people gonna like me on TV? It just, to me, it takes the genuinity out of it. Is that a word? Genuinity?
I don't know. It can be.
It is now. Something that really stuck with me, like at the end of the trailer though, one of the girls said like, sometimes love is not enough. And I kind of wanted to explore that because I truly do feel that way. You could love somebody with all your heart, and you honestly could want to be with them with all your heart, but that don't mean that you should be with them. And just all the love that you have for them, it doesn't take away all the other things in the relationship that like decrease your fulfillment in life in general. So like you could tell this person, I want to be with them, I'm giving you the ultimatum that you need to marry me this year or else, but like them loving you is not enough for them to want to marry you. You know what I mean? And some people just don't understand that because they don't be having their own boundaries with stuff.
Yeah.
Even though some of the reasons people don't be wanting to get married be toxic, but I feel like for the most part, people's reasons be valid.
I agree.
Yeah.
Love isn't enough. Because love is... I feel like...
You fall in and out of love. How can it be enough if one day you feel love and one day you don't? Love is just as fleeting as happiness, anger, sadness. It's just a regular ass emotion, and we put so much into it.
I don't know if I agree with it being a fleeting emotion.
You think that it's just omnipresent all day, every day, love, 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 love in a relationship. And I'm not talking about like the energy of love in the universe. I'm talking about like with us. You don't think like in 5 years, one day you could just fall out of love with me for 3 months and then be back in love with me after those 3 months?
No. That don't even make sense to me. Maybe because I have never experienced...
I think that you haven't been in a long-term relationship in that way. And I think that being married will teach you that, because when you get into a relationship with somebody and you start to realize there's things that you don't like about them and that you cannot change.
What does that have to do with loving them, though?
Because the love don't be unconditional. You know what I mean?
Well, you didn't love them.
That's not true. Just because it's not unconditional love don't mean it's not love. Or just because it's not the capacity of what you feel like love should mean doesn't mean that they didn't love you at all. That's just your truth. But that's not the truth.
So that means it's really can't really be a discussion because now it sounds like love is in the eye of the beholder.
I don't think love is in the. I think it takes both. You have to feel the love, and the other person has to be willing to give it. Like, I don't know if it's in the eye of the beholder.
I can love you. I can not like something that you do or not like something about you and still love you.
Yeah, you can, but then I feel like in long-term relationships, sometimes you get into these little dry patches or whatever where you just don't have the love for the relationship that you used to. And it don't mean that you don't love them at all no more, but you're not in love. And that doesn't always mean that it's time to break up. They usually mean that it's time for you to reflect on yourself of why are you feeling that way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like we have different definitions of what love is. Because I feel like that's not loving somebody. Because you still love them.
but loving somebody and being in love with somebody is two different things.
What is being in love with somebody?
I'm in love with you. I have a affinity for you. Everything that you do is like a breath of fresh air to me. Okay? And I'm unconditionally loving you for the most part because I'm still working on myself. But, because you can't accept other people if you don't accept yourself, and that's just the truth. But, what was I saying? So, I can be unconditionally loving everything about you, but I could fall out of love with you in certain moments. And it's not necessarily something that you're doing or not doing that caused me to fall out of love with you, even though sometimes that is a thing. But love comes and goes.
Is it love or do you just not feel as close? Because I feel like that's different too.
I feel like that is different. That's not what I'm saying at all.
That's what it sounds like.
I think that
I feel like
I'm not explaining it good, and you also haven't had the experience, so I'm really not explaining it good.
I'm a little offended when you say I haven't had the experience, because what do you mean? Just because I wasn't married, I don't know?
No, I'm not saying that you wasn't married. I'm saying that you wasn't in a long-term relationship where the love was unconditional.
But how do you know that?
Based off the conversations that we had.
That I have not loved somebody?
I didn't say that you didn't. I said the relationship.
But we're talking about a person in the relationship.
What?
We're talking about one person falling in and out of love with the other person.
Okay.
In this case, it would be me.
So, well, first of all, based off of your response to what I'm saying, you clearly have not experienced that, or else you wouldn't be asking me so many questions, like not understanding my perspective. I think.
No, that just means I don't understand your perspective. That doesn't mean that I haven't experienced something.
You haven't experienced falling in and out of love with a person because you telling me that what I'm saying basically ain't even a thing.
So you mean experiencing in and out of love, not just experiencing love.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Falling in and out of love.
Okay. That is not what that sounded like. That's what you were saying?
Okay.
I'm glad we figured that out, though.
Alright. We'll touch bases on this conversation later because we obviously, need to discuss a potential arrangement.
Whoa, no arrangements.
So, yeah. What are you making time for this week?
Love. I'm going to make time for planning my meals better. I feel like I did really good last week and the week before that. And something's missing this week.
It's only Wednesday. I mean, you've been off the last 2 days. How much planning you need to do?
I mean, it hasn't been the way that it should. I feel like I've been missing meals.
Well, that's because you be hanging around me. I be rubbing off on you, and you just let it happen.
I be eating.
Not like you used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first met you, you was eating like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and 3 snacks. That was really meals, but that's neither here nor there. And I literally eat like once a day.
I was also working out more then too.
I don't think it has nothing to do with workout. We already discussed this. You have a fast metabolism, therefore you need to eat more frequently.
Okay.
And so you don't be eating more frequently no more. Trying to live my life.
Girl, what you making time for?
Ooh, this week, what am I making time for? Honestly, I really want to get refocused and just in alignment with our next season, because I feel like season 6, by the way, the number 6 is the number of unconditional love. It's going to be very special, and we're basically like 2 episodes away. So I really want to prepare myself and like get in the zone and be ready to put out like our best content ever. Because I'm ready for us to, our numbers to go up more than they ever have. And so that's what I'm making time for.
Yeah. We are the #1 wellness podcast in the world.
Period.